Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, my video, I'm going to touch on a bunch of different topics that people had requested I do a video on. So we're going to cover how to conceal your under eyes, how to pick a good primer, what kind of brushes to use for the face. We're just going to mostly do face brushes today, and just kind of a little bit of everything. Ignore the dogs in the background. They're always there. So number one, we're going to talk about primers. So I have dry skin, and so I regularly exfoliate. So it takes that top layer of skin off, it's the gross layer of skin off your face every day. So, and I do peels at home. It just, it basically takes that layer off, and the nice fresh skin that's underneath gets to come through. So it helps your makeup application, everything, your foundation looks better, everything stays on better. So I have some high-end primers and some low-end, so there's kind of something for everybody. So really high-end, this is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enrich Face Base. It's super expensive. It's not absolutely necessary. I just bought it. I wanted it for so long. It's basically like a heavy-duty moisturizer. So, and it leaves your skin a little bit tacky, so that when you put your foundation on, it has something to adhere to. So I really like this, but you don't have to spend that much money. So another thing I really like that's quite pricey is the Farsali Unicorn Essence Drops. I like these ones. I don't like the rose gold ones. This is just a serum that you put on your face, and I use it as a primer. It does basically the same thing. It just puts all the oils and everything into your skin to make a nice smooth layer to put your foundation on over. So I really like those. A cheaper alternative is the First Aid Beauty Hello Fab Coconut Skin Smoothing Primer Moisturizer. So it's a little bit of everything in one. It's affordable, and it fills in, if you have large pores, it fills the pores in, but it also hydrates the skin. So it's kind of double duty. And if you like the smell of coconuts, it's not overpowering or anything, but it's nice and refreshing. I'm not a huge fan of this next one, but it's very popular, and it's really good for people who have large pores. You want to fill in large pores before you put your foundation on. So this is the Benefit Porefessional, and I think it's like one of the #1 primers. So people that have large pores right around here, you just press it into the skin. You don't need to put it all over your whole face. And it fills those pores with the primer, so the foundation goes on flawlessly. So there's that one. Another one that I love, it's super cheap and everybody can buy it. It's so funny. Nikki Tutorials started this. It is the Nivea Men's Sense. It has to be for the sensitive skin cooling aftershave balm. I think this is like less than $10. You can get it at a drugstore. It smells obviously like a man when you first put it on. That smell goes away. So you put a little bit on and you rub it all over your face, and you keep rubbing until it gets tacky. And once it gets tacky, then you know the foundation is going to adhere. If I ever use a stick foundation or anything like that, something that is, you know, hard to move around on your skin, this is what I will use. So that's my little trick. I love it. It's like so affordable. So that's a good one. And then lastly, I have from Makeup Forever. There's two different ones. One, they're both step 1 skin equalizer. One is a smoothing primer, one is a hydrating primer. So I put the smoothing primer on where I have bigger pores, and then I put the hydrating one where I need extra hydration before I put on my foundation. So I put the primer on, I let it soak in for a little bit, and then I get right down to the foundation. Something that somebody was asking about is, like, a lot of people want to know about under eye, dark circles, concealing, all that. So I definitely suggest that everybody uses an eye cream at night. I think everybody thinks, well, I don't have wrinkles or whatever, so I'm fine. But it prevents them, because once they come, they're there. So the Shiseido Benefiance 24, or Wrinkle Resist 24. So I put it on at night, just a little layer, and I put it on underneath my eyes, and then I put a little bit on my eyelids too. You have to make sure to wash it off in the morning before you put on your makeup, because I find that your makeup doesn't go on smooth when you have this on. So I just wear this at night. And a little tip is, if you keep it in your fridge and it's nice and cold, so when you put it on, it takes like the puffiness down. So that's what I like to do. There's other products like there's NYX Dark Circle Concealer. Everything to hide dark circles is kind of going to have like an orange based tint to it that cancels out the darkness. You have to be very careful to not load up the product because then it's just going to accentuate the dark circles or the wrinkles and it's just counterproductive. So another one I have, I can't find it, but it's really good, is it's called Becca Under Eye Brightening, something like that. It looks like one of these. It's got more orange and it brightens the skin up a lot. So that's a really good one. Only if you have dark circles. If you don't have dark circles, I would just skip that step. So I am going to prime my face and I am going to I'll use the Nivea today. So, yeah, it does stink when you first put it on. It smells like a man. I put way too much on. So you just rub it in and you really work it into your skin. And it's obviously going to make your skin red and look, worse than it did before. But that's okay. So, and you'll know when to quit rubbing once it feels like tacky. And that's what we want. So I'm just going to let that soak in for a minute. And I put it right up to my under eyes, not on my eyes, but right underneath. It doesn't burn or anything, but that way the concealer is going to adhere better. So moving on to foundation. Somebody had asked what kind of brushes to use. So I'll go into brushes another time, but I'm just going to show for foundation my options are. I do not like to apply foundation with fingers. So I use there are Artis brushes. They look like kind of like a toothbrush. This is the Pure one. There's a lot of dupes that you can get. They're really cheap that you see, but they're just really densely packed, so they put on the product really well. I do like these brushes. So the other thing is there's a company called Morphe in the States. I believe you can get them at Ulta too. They make very good brushes and they're super cheap. That's what the majority of my brushes are. There's a subscription you can sign up for that I've signed up for. I think I've been subscribed for 1.5 years. And I can't remember the amount, but I want to say it's like $25 and you sign up and each month they send you more than that in brushes. So you'll get like $40 worth of brushes that they randomly choose each month for you. So it's a good way to build your collection and like you can never have too many brushes. So I highly recommend checking out Morphe. The brushes are so affordable and the quality is amazing. It would be silly to go spend $30 on an eyeshadow brush like at MAC or something else. So this is a Morphe brush. It's just densely packed. So that's really going to get the foundation in there. Something that people don't do enough that is just disgusting is you have to clean your brushes regularly, especially your face brushes. So even if you just use baby shampoo or dish soap, whatever, wash your brushes. So, and then my favorite way of applying foundation is with a beauty blender. They're quite pricey. You get them at Sephora. I want to say they're like $26, but if you clean them often, they last a long time. You just have to squeeze them under water and saturate them and then squeeze out the excess water and it'll grow to like a bigger size once it's wet. And it basically creates like an airbrush flawless foundation application. There is a dupe anyways, you can get these at like the drugstore. They're about half the price. I don't like it as much, but it works pretty good. So if you're going to get a sponge, one of these two is a really good option. Morphe also has sponges on their site. So I'm going to put on my foundation really quick and then we will get to the eyes. Got the foundation on. Now we are going to deal with the under eyes. I don't have dark circles under my eyes, but I do like to overdo brightening my under eyes. So my favorite under eye concealer is the Tarte Shape Tape. If you don't wear a heavy foundation, this is going to look weird because it's very full coverage. So this is more for somebody who likes the full coverage foundation look. There's other alternatives. You can buy these anywhere. These are the LA Girl Pro Conceal. These are actually really good concealers. They do have color correcting ones like this. So you can buy, there'll be an orange one, and the orange one would be for putting on underneath your eyes. You can get the Garnier eye roller wand, and it is brightening and it's supposed to get rid of anti-dark circles. If you buy a light one, it'll brighten it up. So that's an affordable option. Also, the BH Cosmetics website has a new one called Studio Pro Total Coverage Concealer. This is like really cheap. It's super thick. You only need a tiny little bit, but it is really a good affordable option. And then a really expensive one that's comparable to the Tarte Shape Tape is NARS. NARS is one of my favorite ones. It's a little bit lighter than this one, so if I'm doing a more natural look, I will use this, but I love these too. So those are my favorite concealers. We are going to use the Tarte Shape Tape today. So we're gonna go on to so you only need a little bit of this, and it's gonna like, I like the like white under eye look, so you know, not everybody does. But my favorite way to apply it is with a beauty blender, because you can get right in there and then you can just really push the product into the skin. So you just, when you put on foundation and when you do your concealer, you just have to really take your time and not be in a rush and just really work it into the skin. And so me using this light of concealer, you should, hopefully you can see what it's doing. So it's a little bit exaggerated, but you see how it's like brightening that area up. So you just kind of keep doing it. And then I close my eyes and I kind of, just so it's not like a triangle, I kind of bring it back around. And with whatever's left over in my beauty blender, I just pat it into my eyelid. So you can definitely tell that it brightened it up. And so what we want to do now that we've put it on before it sets and it starts to crease, because that's what happens with under eye concealer, is you're going to take a translucent powder. But for the person that had asked this question, I'm going to specifically use an under eye brightening powder. So this one's my favorite. It's Laura Mercier and it's called Secret Brightening Powder. So it has a number 1. But this one comes across really white and it doesn't leave like a white cast or anything like that. So I tap it into the lid and with my damp beauty blender. So you're just going to make sure that you have no creases or you're going to set the crease and you don't want to do that. So you're going to do this, which looks extra crazy, but that's okay. Just really get it on there. And so if you were to put this there and leave it, that's what is called baking. Take a fluffy brush and just sweep away the excess. And now you're not looking as crazy, and you can definitely see that it actually has brightened the under eyes. So that's my recommendation. I think people think that you need to like pile on the color or get like a really cakey concealer or whatever to hide it, but you don't. I hope this video was helpful. I can go more in depth if you guys would like, but just you have to write in the comments below kind of what it is that you'd like to see. If you have questions about products, anything like that, I would love to hear from you guys. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel, share, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you again next time.